sports.
What a day for baseball in downtown Minneapolis. A perfect afternoon at Target Field as the Athletics and the Twins celebrate Memorial Day with a matinee affair this afternoon. Welcome to Target Field. Twins and Athletics to open this three-game series as we thank you for spending part of your Memorial Day weekend with us. A great opportunity for all of us to say thank you to all of those who have sacrificed so much to keep us safe and provide with us the freedom that we enjoy daily. Baseball is a big part of life in America, and it's a great way to celebrate Memorial Day weekend on an afternoon like this. Before we get set for baseball, let's head down to the field and our public address announcer, Adam Abram.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Sims, for serving our country. Fans, we now ask you to please join the Twins, Athletics, and all of Major League Baseball in a moment of silence in observance of Memorial Day. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, here today to sing the national anthem is vocalist, Children's Theater Company actor, and supporting actor in the film Memorial Day, Reed Sigmund. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Memorial Day in downtown Minneapolis, Minnesota and Oakland in the opening game of a three-game series. First pitch between the Twins and the A's next.
Minnesota Twins baseball on Fox Sports North is brought to you by your local Northland Ford dealers. Visit your local Northland Ford dealer or go to northlandford.com. And by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards.
A year ago, Josh Willingham was playing for the Oakland A's. Now he's for the Twins against the A's. First pitch of the first game coming up next. Day, a chance for all of us to reflect on how lucky we are that others who have paid the sacrifice to let us be who we are and do what we do, and that's especially true for an Army brat like Ron Gardenhire.
My dad, I just remember being a little kid on the Army base out in Fort Ord, California, watching him, getting to go sit out on a tank and watch him march the men, and in a uniform basically his whole life. So all of our troops, I've had an opportunity and been lucky enough to fire emails back and forth and get a chance to meet a lot of young men and women that are serving this country. So it's dear to my heart, as it is a lot of people's, and remembering all the people that gave their lives for our country, and all the people who are serving now. So this is huge. This is a very patriotic country here, and we are very proud of our people and our servicemen and women.
The manager said it very well there, yes. I thought.
Can't say it any better. Today is a day of saying thank you. Thank you to so many men and women that serve our country and still serve our country for our freedom.
And their families, yes, who pay a different type of sacrifice, but a substantial one nonetheless. The A's Menards batting order on this first full holiday of the baseball season. Jemile Weeks leading things off. Coco Crisp, Josh Reddick, Johnny Gomes, Brandon Inge, Kurt Suzuki, Keila Ka'ahui, Colin Cowgill, and Adam Rosales.
And on the mound this afternoon on Memorial Day, it will be left-handed pitcher Scott Diamond making just his 5th start of the year, his 12th major league start. This is his first career start against the Oakland A's. And for Scott Diamond, 3 of his 4 starts so far have been quality starts. Comes into this ball game, look at the numbers. Only 3 walks in 25 1/3 innings, and one of those an intentional walk, and he's done a good job of keeping the ball in the ballpark.
Northland Ford defense for the Twins. Josh Willingham in left, Denard Span in center, Darren Mastroianni getting right field today. Trevor Plouffe, Brian Dozier, Alexi Casilla, and Justin Morneau. With Joe Mauer behind the plate. Now the calendar says this is still springtime. but this is the first summertime holiday of the baseball season, and we've got just perfect conditions here at Target Field today.
Yeah, you see showers later. That's what the forecast said. Last night here in the Twin Cities, some big showers, but this field, unbelievable how it drains, and they do such a great job here preparing the field for when bad weather does come in.
A little electricity in the air in the Twin Cities area last night. And there's Justin Morneau again back in the lineup at first base. And the Twins and A's hoping to end a 5-game losing streak.
Oakland comes into this ball game 22-26, 8 games behind the Western Division leaders right now, the Texas Rangers. If you have not seen Scott Diamond pitch, excellent control with this fastball, both sides of the plate. Slow curveball that he has picked up a lot of strikeouts on. They're mixing a little cutter like a slider and a changeup.
Weeks, Crisp, and Reddick to get things started on this Memorial Day.
Just saw Bob Melvin, the manager here for his second season with the Oakland A's.
Strike one to Jemile Weeks. A week and a half ago, the Twins were pitching to his brother for the Milwaukee Brewers, Ricky Weeks, and neither brother off to a particularly good start this year.
It's been a very slow offensive start for the Oakland A's. They come in hitting at only .209 as a ball club, and Weeks, who had such a great year last year when he hit .303 in 97 ball games, was off to a very slow start, not getting on base, but when he does, he's one of these guys almost like Quentin Berry. You want to make him make contact. No free passes. He's got 10 stolen bases.
2-1 to Weeks. 3-1 yesterday. P.J. Walters, who similarly pitched very well for the Twins, had some control issues early in the ball game, and it cost him a couple of first-inning runs. Walked the leadoff batter yesterday. 3-1.
Yeah, he battled yesterday.
There's a strike, says Tim McClellan.
Yeah, Tim McClellan, he's about 6'7" as a home plate umpire, and he kind of towers over Joe Mauer even when Joe Mauer stands up. But he's a little, because he gets down so low, it takes him a little while to get up and make that strike or ball call.
This one bounced up the middle for a base hit. Dozier dives for it, and Weeks singles. It's been a rough go, not just for Weeks, the entire Oakland lineup. That's their team batting average, .209. Not many extra base hits. The ERA 11th, but even at 11th, is significantly better than what the Twins have posted.
Yeah, that's of the 30 teams in the American League, that 3.57. That's 5th best in the American League. Very good bullpen. So almost like the Twins, you want to get to their starters early.
Runner at first, Crisp at the plate. Weeks with a big lead at first. Up and away with a fastball.
Diamond pretty quick home, so Weeks, who I mentioned, has 10 stolen bases in 14 attempts. Only the Rays, Tampa Bay Rays, have more stolen bases than the Oakland A's do with 43. The A's have 42 stolen bases.
1-0. Might be 2. 1. And Morneau with a big scoop at first, and it is a double play.
Nicely done right there. Coco Crisp just coming off the disabled list with an inner ear infection. Ground ball to Dozier. Quick feed over to Casilla. The throw is low, and like you said, Dick, a nice pick by Morneau. Soft hands right there. That's what first basemen need. And that big glove.
2 gone. It's always nice to, or will be throughout this series, to see Josh Reddick coming up with the bases empty. As the roster is situated right now, he's one of the few guys with some pop. The A's as a team have hit 40 home runs, and Reddick in his first year with the A's has 13 of them.
Yeah, Reddick coming over from the Boston Red Sox organization, where Andrew Bailey and Ryan Sweeney were traded over the winter to the Boston Red Sox, and Josh Reddick now in Oakland A.
At some point later this week, in fact, the A's are expected to add Yoenis Cespedes from the disabled list. Breaking ball, and it's a called strike.
That's that slider right there. You kind of saw Reddick kind of back away a little bit. So good hard breaking ball right there.
And the A's might also add Manny Ramirez to their active roster sometime this week, maybe as soon as Wednesday. 2-2.
Well, Reddick only 25 years old, signed with the Red Sox back in 2006. Last year for Boston, 87 ball games, hit .280.
And now 3-2. Johnny Gomes on deck.
I mentioned coming in, 3 walks for Diamond now in 26 innings pitched.
It's hit a long way to right field. And a home run for Reddick. And another first inning run for the other guys.
Well, Reddick hitting his 14th home run, ball left up, and Reddick ready to swing hard. Exactly what he did. Reddick not a big guy at 6'2", about 180, but generates a lot of bat speed. Take a look at their location. Looked like a slider that stayed up. Good solid swing. And the A's take a 1-0 lead. Only the 3rd home run that Scott Diamond has allowed.
So 1-0 Oakland. And Johnny Gomes will hit. Breaking pitch left up high. Gomes the designated hitter, a role that eventually the A's expect to fill with Manny Ramirez.
Yeah, a lot of turnaround in Oakland, a lot of new faces this year for the organization. Johnny Gomes coming over from the Nationals, where last year he hit 14 home runs in 120 ball games.
The A's get the first run. They'll take runs anytime they can get them. It was a very disappointing homestand for the A's. They won 1 ball game out of the 6, and they scored a total of 8 runs in those 6 games. Swing and a miss. 2-2.
Scott Diamond, 25 years old, born in Ontario, Canada. In his 2nd season with the Twins.
Sharply hit. Backhanded by Dozier. On target to Morneau. The inning ends. Reddick hits a home run to put the A's up 1-0. Has a 1-0 lead. Twins will try to get it back with this Menards batting order. Denard Span, Darren Mastroianni, Joe Mauer, Josh Willingham, Justin Morneau, Ryan Doumit, Brian Dozier, Trevor Plouffe, and Alexi Casilla.
And on the mound this afternoon for the Oakland A's, it'll be left-handed pitcher Travis Blackley making his first start for the Oakland A's, his fourth appearance since being claimed off waivers from the San Francisco Giants on May 15th. Blackley, 31 years old. This is his third season in the major leagues, going back to 2004 when he came up with the Seattle Mariners. Also spent some time with the Giants in 2007, and then this year with the Giants, and now wearing an Oakland A uniform.
Here's Denard Span to lead things off. Blackley from Australia. And for a while, the A's had 3 Australians on the roster, Grant Balfour and then Luke Hughes, who was briefly with them after being waived by the Twins.
Yeah, they had Rich Thompson, too, that they claimed off waivers from the Angels.
So called strike 1-1.
Yeah, the scouting report on Blackley, a fastball not overpowering, pretty good curveball, excellent changeup, and he's mixed in a slider. Last year, spent time in Korea, pitching in Korea.
Chop foul, and it's 1-2. So at any given time, the A's have had 3 Australians and a Hawaiian on their roster, Kai Hui. Slugging first baseman for the A's, formerly of the Royals. Span, Mastroianni, and Mauer to hit for the Twins here in the first.
Yeah, Kirk Suzuki, the catcher, also born in Hawaii.
That's right. Slow breaking ball left up and in. Now Blackley hasn't been stretched out to have the A's expect anything more than 4 or 5 innings from him. He's been put into the rotation here in part because Brandon McCarthy has more shoulder issues. They expect McCarthy to take this next spot in the rotation the next time it comes up this weekend.
Yeah, McCarthy currently on a disabled list with that shoulder soreness.
And Span drops one down the left field line for a hit. Cowgill gets to it. Span will be held to a single. Good play by Cowgill with a quick retrieve, and Span, who's really hitting the ball well, gets a leadoff single.
Well, you know what? You go into 4, 5, 6 pitches in that bat, a pitcher's going to make a mistake. I say that all the time, but watch this breaking ball right here. It didn't have that downwards plane. It just kind of spun a little bit, almost the same pitch that Reddick hit out for the home run. Good piece of hitting by Span, just going with it.
Here's Darren Mastroianni getting the start in right field in place of Ben Revere. Span hesitated in getting back and then just flopped on the bag barely ahead of the tag.
Span asking for time.
Not sure what how to account for his reaction there with the pitcher Blackley beginning to throw over there, and Span started toward the bag and then hesitated.
Yeah, you know what? A lot of times you lock up a little bit. Blackley with that high leg kick, but we'll see what kind of move he has toward first base.
Fastball sails outside.
Might have froze Denard just for a split second. Left-handers, of course, always have the advantage because they're looking right at that base runner at third base. Jerry White helping out Denard Span. Read the signs from Steve Little across the diamond over at third base.
Lifted to the right field corner, and Reddick makes the catch on the warning track. So a fairly deep fly ball to the opposite field, one away. Northland Ford defense for Oakland: Colin Cowgill, Coco Crisp, and Josh Reddick, the outfielders. Former Tiger Brandon Inge off the disabled list at third base. Rosales Weeks up the middle, Hui at first, and Suzuki behind the plate. Joe Mauer, the batter. Mauer had a good series against the Detroit Tigers, even though the Twins did not.
Joe really swinging a bat well. Remember, that average was down to 260s, and now it's at even 300.
Strike on the outside corner.
Last 9 ball games for Joe Mauer, a .441 batting average with some extra base hits, 4 doubles and a home run, and he's driven in 5.
That pitch to the plate, ball 1. Span was moving back to first base, so he does not have a good read yet.
I know Blackley kind of right there. He kind of brought that leg up and hesitated for a second. That's why Denard thought about going back to first. He almost holds it a second. And then he goes over to first.
And he was not reacting well to that pickoff move. He hesitated again. You know, the left-handers who have had good pickoff moves, and Andy Pettitte, one of them, they have the knack, the ability, and it's something I'm sure they practice, of bringing their right foot up, and if it goes behind the rubber, they have to deliver the ball to the plate.
Right.
And again, Span just, I don't think his chances of stealing a base here are very good, because he doesn't have a good read at either the delivery to the plate or the pickoff.
Well, it's all with more or less, you know, your foot, the bottom right there. Keep an eye on that right there. See, he comes straight up, and some lefties will bend that leg a little bit, but that's pretty straight, so probably hard to pick up.
Double play ball. And the A's turn it. And Span gets a leadoff single, but Blackley faces just 3 men in the inning. Join Major League Baseball in helping those veterans who've done so much to help us. Log on to MLBcommunity.org or welcomebackveterans.org for more information on how you can make a difference. To also raise awareness for this cause. Major League Baseball players are wearing special hats today. Fans can buy replicas of these hats with all the proceeds going to welcomebackveterans.org.
Yeah, I saw both the hats, the M and the A's, have a little camouflage in them. Pretty cool hats.
Brandon Inge will lead things off for the Oakland A's. All those years of seeing him in a Tiger uniform, the Tigers leave town, and here comes Brandon Inge.
Yeah, Brandon Inge released by the Detroit Tigers, then signed by the Oakland A's. That happening on the end of April, April 30th. Just coming off the disabled list, where he spent the 15 days with a strained right groin.
Couple of games on a rehab assignment. Not bad. 6 hits, 8 runs batted in, that at Sacramento. So he was ready to rejoin the Major League club. and they're waiting for production like that from Manny Ramirez before they promote him. 1-1. Had to be good at the gate for Sacramento, wouldn't you think, with a couple games, Brandon Inge and Manny Ramirez?
Yeah, Inge in his little stay with the Oakland A's before he was on the disabled has hit a couple grand slams.
Wrapped to third, knocked down by Plouffe, and he throws to Morneau, who reaches into foul territory. The reason Ramirez isn't here largely because he's still serving a 50-game drug suspension. Second offense violator, his 100-game suspension reduced to 50 because he retired last year. As for Cespedes, he's got a strained muscle in his left hand, and he is the guy, Cespedes is, that they hope to build their lineup around moving forward. Former Cuban player. Here's Kurt Suzuki. High fly, left field. Willingham puts it away, 2 down. And that'll bring up K.I. Hui. Set your compass due north on Fox Sports North. This week, join Bill Shirk and Laura Schera on a couple of unusual river cleanups. Watch Due North Outdoors Thursday at 6:30 on Fox Sports North. This name just does not roll off my tongue. How about you?
No. K.I. Hui. Born in Hawaii, just like Suzuki. Excuse me. Yeah, Suzuki.
That one doesn't roll off your tongue either.
I like Sudoku.
The Royals really didn't have much room for him once Eric Hosmer proved that he was going to be their first baseman for a lot of years.
K.I. Hui, first season with Oakland. The Twins saw a little bit of him when he was with the Kansas City Royals.
2 quick strikes from Diamond. Just missed the up and away corner. Now a breaking pitch and a check swing, 2-2.
K.I. Hui, 3 seasons with the Kansas City Royals up and down, came into this year. Played in only 87 games in those 3 years, hit only .216. We've seen that from Oakland. They try to go out and get guys that let them play a little bit. On base percentage, so important.
Chipped into foul territory over by the tarp and out of play. The A's seem to do that a lot, pick up players from other organizations. For heaven's sakes, they picked up Luke Hughes from the Twins when he was waived. And then they also try to get some veterans that can prove there's still something left and maybe spin them off in trades in the middle of the summer.
Right.
2-2 to K.I. Hui. That's hit well to right field. He jerks one up and out, a home run. He reached down and hooked one over the flower bed, and it's 2-0. Another 2-out home run.
Yeah, again, Diamond came into this outing only 2 home runs in his first 4 starts. Has given up 2 home runs early. K.I. Hui hitting his 3rd home run of the year. Take a look at the pitch right here. A breaking ball, that little cutter. Second time that breaking ball has been hit over that right field fence.
Colin Cowgill, the batter. And strike one.
Cowgill in his first season with the Oakland A's. Last year with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Came over in that Trevor Cahill trade. Rick Breslow also went to the Diamondbacks. Former Twin reliever.
2 strikes to Cowgill. Punched into short right field, and that'll drop in front of Mastroianni for a 2-out single. And that'll bring up Adam Rosales. 4 hits for the A's in the first 8 at bats. A couple of home runs.
Yeah, Diamond leaving some pitches up. That slider just not doesn't have that bite right now. He's left a couple of those up. Aihui went down and hit that ball, but the ball left up to Reddick about thigh high.
Rosales giving Cliff Pennington, the regular shortstop, a break.
Well, when you're hanging those breaking balls like that, you go to other pitches. That curveball, we haven't seen a lot of the curveball yet. And then, of course, the fastball, working both sides of the plate with the fastball. Then you work on that little slider when you're ahead in the count to hopefully, a couple innings later, there's that good little bite to it again.
Sharpen it up a little bit. 1-0 to Rosales. Started to say before when Blackley was on the mound, the left-handers with really good moves, and Blackley at least had Span confused at first base. They have a knack of bringing up that right foot and getting it to the rubber, but not behind it. And then the really good ones will, as you say, hesitate, pause for a second.
See, Diamond does it right there. He throws over, but a lot of times he'll almost do a slide step toward home plate. So he's someone that I think would be very hard to steal against.
Now, on that pickoff move, he stepped toward first base. But again, the Pettits of the world, they fudge on that imaginary line that's out there between stepping toward first and stepping toward home plate. Well, they've got him picked off. And Cowgill is thrown out. So Diamond with a pickoff of Cowgill to end the second inning. It's 2-0. Diamond with his head in the towel, a little upset about giving up a couple of home runs, but a pickoff to end the inning.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll take a couple looks right there. He kind of lifts that leg up and as quick as he can right here. You can see there, he doesn't even get near to where you're talking about, Dick, that, get back behind the rubber. Just kind of stepped up over to Justin. Quick throw by Justin over to Casilla to get the Cowgill for the final out.
Middle of the Twins lineup, Willingham, Morneau, and Dilmott to face Travis Blackley. And a first pitch strike.
As we mentioned, Blackley, making his first start this year, but his first major league start since 2007. And Josh Willingham, a former Oakland A last year, getting an at-bat against his former organization.
Pulled foul. 1 year with Oakland, he had 246, 29 home runs, 98 runs batted in, and 150 strikeouts and 488 at-bats. He has been with the Twins what he was last year with Oakland, and appears to be on a similar home run and RBI pace. 2 strikes.
Well, you see Blackley right there. He doesn't go through the windup. He just works out of the stretch. Something that we saw Liriano do the other day. And Liriano will be on the mound on Wednesday.
I asked Ron Gardenhire about that the next day, and he said he'll be interested in finding out whether Liriano on Wednesday will pitch from the stretch as Blackley is doing. He said in that 1 inning he just did it because he felt more comfortable. Right. Well, at this point in his career, go for it. Do what's comfortable out there. Inside, and it's 2-2. Twins finding themselves behind early again on a pair of solo home runs by the A's. And close pitch. You have to hesitate with Tim McClellan. That didn't miss the corner by much.
Yeah, he shouts it out down there, but again, at 6'7", 6'8", sometimes it takes him a little longer to get up and raise that right hand if he's going to call a strike.
Lifted foul over the Twins dugout. First meeting of the year between these two teams. Twins head out to the West Coast in August. And take on the A's.
Yeah, the Twins were out there a couple times last year. The Oakland A's will be here a couple times this year with that one trip for the Twins to the Bay Area.
And right after the All-Star break, the A's come here again.
Well, Blackley, 31 years old. We've said he's from Australia. Signed by the Seattle Mariners back in 2001 as a free agent. Making just his 9th major league start, his 16th major league appearance.
Full count to Willingham. Chopped wide of third.
Good at bat right here for Willingham.
Especially since Blackley only threw 10 pitches in the first inning, and now Willingham is almost going to double that in this at bat. So far, this will be the 9th pitch of this at bat. 3-2 strike fouls. Rolled to short, and Rosales throws him out, 1 down. And speaking of guys matching last year's power potential, Morneau's already surpassed his from a year ago.
Yeah, for Justin, 4 home runs over his last 6 games played with 8 runs driven in. That blast in Chicago, a 2-home run game, their final night in Chicago.
Hoping to be the first Twin in double digits in home runs. And he takes ball 1. Last year, Morneau hit just 4 home runs in 264 at bats. Now in 118 at bats, he's hit 9. So far, so good as it relates to Justin Morneau and his health and ability to hit the ball over the fence. 1-1.
I think the most important thing, we're seeing Justin now playing first base on a regular basis. I think that's what he wants too. He wants to be out there not only offensively but also helping out on defense. That's a great sign for the Twins.
Inside. Turned 31 years of age about 2 weeks ago. And Justin will tell you that's too young to be a full-time DH. He was put in the DH spot early for all the right reasons. The Twins wanted to measure how much progress he'd made on the concussion front. Fouled off a leg. And it's 2-2.
Well, you put that pad on that right leg for a reason. I think that's where that foul ball got him.
Sounded that way.
Yeah. Take a look right here. See Justin Stride.
Oh, the back
got
foot.
The back foot. Here comes another pad. Ouch.
2-2. Blackley to Morneau. And he takes the breaking pitch off the plate. Full count with Doman on deck.
On the 22nd, about 6 days ago, Blackley out of the bullpen worked 3 2/3 innings. So like you mentioned, Dick, the pitch count, they will keep an eye on the left-hander.
Popped up and right below us. We've had what, one ball hit in here in 2.5 years?
So, yeah.
Stats person that day, God rest his soul, caught it, I believe. Another 3-2 pitch to Morneau. Swing and a miss, a strikeout.
A good fastball away, and Blackley picks up his first strikeout. Let's take a look at our GMC keys to the game. The hitters 1 through 9. They have been producing for the Twins, but it's a lower part of the lineup that Gardy would like to see pick up a little bit. The average at 220, where the 1 through 5 are hitting at 264. 26 home runs, 1 through 5, only 7 in the lower part of the lineup.
Here's Ryan Doumit. And the A's put a shift on for Doumit with Weeks pulled over toward the shortstop hole. And Doumit takes ball 1.
Well, Ryan, a switch hitter, as a right-handed hitter, hitting 270 and 262 from the left side. So pretty even from both sides of the plate. Most of his at-bats coming from the left side.
Out in front of the off-speed pitch, 1-1. We were talking about it yesterday. It's not hard to imagine the Twins having their 3, 4, 5, and 6 batters, at least they're the ones that are in there today, all with 90 to 100 runs batted in. Right off the end of the bat. Blackley backhands it and pulls K.I. Ahui off the bag. So Doumit, who seems like every time he puts the ball in play, he's had to run harder than he might otherwise want to, having a pulled calf muscle that he's recovering from, and he's got to beat out an infield hit here.
Well, Blackley going over and then trying to just flip the ball. They'll give an error to the pitcher.
Oh, really?
Yep. You see him try to backhand that ball.
How about Brian Runge, the first base umpire? Little acrobatic move there. Well, the Twins get an extra out here on the error charge to the pitcher, and that'll bring up Dozier. Got a day off yesterday. Been scuffling at the plate and in the field. A high fly to left field. Cowgill going back, and he makes the catch on the edge of the track. So Dozier just missed a game-tying home run, and we head to the third with Oakland in front.
.com and bring your Circle Me signs just like that. You might find yourself right here up during home games and have a chance to visit us up here in the booth. We'll reveal the sections the morning before each game. One will be listed on FoxSportsNorth.com and the other on KFan, KFAN.com.
Dick and Bert with you from beautiful Target Field. 2-0 Oakland, and Adam Rosales will lead off the third. Tapper wide of third, 1 strike. Rosales was at the plate when Cowgill was picked off. Mike Gallego, the third base coach for the A's. And another foul.
Yeah, Rosales just getting some at-bats here. 1 for 7 so far on the year. Recently called up from AAA, which is Sacramento for the Oakland A's on May 17th.
And another foul ball. Diamond summoned from the Twins AAA team in Rochester because the starting rotation as it was established coming out of spring training, injured or ineffective. Jason Marquis, who was part of the rotation, has cleared release waivers, so now he's a free agent and he will sign with somebody.
Yes,
I can promise you that.
Yep, he will.
As poorly as he pitched for the Twins, someone will pick him up.
Heck, the National League, just for his hitting ability.
Use him as a pinch hitter. You know, it's amazing what the market is out there now. Roy Halladay's got some shoulder issues, right? And if you're Roy Oswalt and you're sitting out there, and every time a pitcher comes down with an injury, another team is going to be interested in talking to you, and the market just keeps getting higher and higher. Swing and a miss. Rosales is out on strike.
And Diamond picking up his first strikeout. Good fastball, inner half of the plate. Straight over the top. Scott Diamond. Watch the release point. Joe sitting inside, and that ball down, but Rosales swinging over the top.
And that'll get us back to the top of the order in Jemile Weeks. You know, when you think about it, it's not bad strategy. That some people think that Oswalt's representation didn't do a good job getting him with the team, but some people also felt that last year he was only good for about 20-25 starts. So now he doesn't sign with anybody, and he waits for the injuries to mount in March, April, and May. And he will be pitching for a contending team here soon, one would think. Remember, Clemens in his last couple years with the Yankees did that. He signed late. And the 1 year in Houston, too. Weeks gets time, and then Tim McClellan ambles over to have a word with him. 2 strikes to Jemile Weeks. Chopper, it's going to be a tough play. And Dozier can't make it. So Weeks, struggling as a hitter, gets a pair of hits here in Minnesota. And that'll bring up Coco Crisp. Here's the Sanford Health injury report. Darvish got his 7th win, but left the game with a stiff back. He's adapted very well to baseball over here.
Yeah, he's got outstanding stuff, and so far lowest ERA this season for rookies is Scott Diamond coming into this ball game. Darvish, of course, more starts than Diamond.
Here's Coco Crisp hit into a double play his first time up. Down low, ball 1. Darvish, another pitcher who, with no one on base, still pitches from the stretch. Something he says he feels more comfortable with at this point. So we've seen Blackley do it here. We might see Liriano do it on Wednesday. Wrap to third. Plouffe to Casilla. Another double play off the bat of Coco Crisp. And a double play that ends the third inning. It's 2-0 Oakland. Minnesota Twins baseball on Fox Sports North is brought to you by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, for the everyday competitor in all of us. By CenturyLink, a different kind of communications company. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by Grand Casino, the best stories start here. And we second that.
Yes, we
emotion.
sure do. God bless America.
Twins trailing here 2-0, and Trevor Plouffe will lead off the Twins' third. Bunted in the air and back about 15 rows. One strike. Well, Plouffe tried to drop a bunt down in front of Inge. Now he needs to hit one over the fence. In the pick-to-stick competition, I allowed you to pick my selection today. I was picking sixth last pick, and you suggested that I pick Trevor Plouffe.
I think he's going to have a good day. I hate to, I didn't pick him only because Ryan Doumit was still available. I thought maybe, with Mauer, Willingham, and Morneau, Doumit would get a chance to pick up some RBIs here.
Well, I'm, fourth, fifth, something like that. Not that, I'm losing sleep over it or anything, but I won this contest the first year we had it.
Congratulations.
Got a nice trophy that goes to the champion of the year.
It's kind of like yesterday's ball game, you forget about it. You move on, Dick.
I don't. I'm rather proud of winning it the first year.
Yeah. Something to hang your hat on. I saw the trophy. I think your hat would cover.
Yeah, what's on your ring there, or on your finger there? You're wearing an 87 ring, yeah. So don't talk to me about,
Oh, by the way, Plouffe just struck out, so that's a -1.
Nice pick.
There's the ring. And breaking ball right there. And again, watch Tim McClellan. He's calling strike, but then there it is. Sorry.
-1 already?
Yeah, but if he hits a home run, you'd be +3.
Here's Alexi Casilla. I wanted to pick Casilla. He had 3 hits yesterday.
Mm-hmm. That would have been my second pick for you. And Casilla hitting .333 as a right-hander.
Yeah, I know that. I'm aware of all of that.
Get through there.
Inge dives to his left. Makes a great play to get Alexi Casilla 2 down.
Well, that ball just over, 6 inches, another foot. That's an infield base hit. But Inge, not guarding the line, playing in, dives for it, does make a very nice play.
All right, well, we'll see what the Twins do if anything, differently or better the second time they've seen Blackley than the first. Went through the lineup once and only got one base hit. Even Span's single in the first inning was just kind of pushed out down the left field line. Only 35 pitches for Blackley so far. And he delivers ball one. You can vote for the Arby's Value Player of the game, which is not to be confused with Pick the Stick. You can text the word value followed by a space in the player's name to short code 234234. And has the only hit, so he's leading the balloting to this point. 1-1.
One thing, we've talked about the Oakland A's, Dick, offensively, yes, they're struggling, but they always seem to have very good pitching. And it seems like when these two clubs meet, it's always low-run ball games.
Yeah, and fairly quick. Although the A's haven't seen that so much during the season. They're still, for a team that doesn't score many runs, they play some of the longest games in baseball. 2-1 to Span. A strike evening the count. 2-2. Twins have had two base runners. Span, he was later erased on a double play grounder off the bat of Mauer, and then Domick reached on an error and was left aboard in the second. Inside, and it's a full count. Blackley's had a number of 3-ball counts, hasn't walked anybody yet. Mastroianni on deck.
Yeah, so far so good for the left-hander. Couple strikeouts, no walks.
Bounces it to the right side. Weeks is there. Span is retired, and on 11 pitches, Blackley has a 1-2-3 third inning. Two to nothing Oakland as we go to the top of the fourth inning. Our carsoup.com/baseball question from Spicer, Minnesota, a little bit west of here. Is Scott Baker with the team? Scott and his wife Leanne just became parents again a few days ago.
Congratulations to the Baker family.
He is with the team. He's working out here, rehabbing from the Tommy John surgery that he had here in Minnesota.
Yeah, Nick Blackburn currently, in the minor leagues on a rehab assignment in Rochester. Liriano will be starting here on Wednesday. Marquis no longer with the organization, and Carl Pavano looking forward to his next start.
Josh Reddick hit a home run in the first inning with 2 outs, and he'll hit leading off the 4th here against Scott Diamond. Reddick, Gomes, and Inge here in the 4th inning. Breaking ball skied to the right side of the infield. A tall one. And Casilla with the catch, 1 away. Tomorrow evening, Twins and Oakland A's, game 2 of the series. And it's a Sports Authority value pack game. You can purchase a ticket in the U.S. Bank Home Run Porch View seats, and you'll get a free Schweigert hot dog and a Pepsi. You can get your tickets for tomorrow night's game calling 800-33-TWINS or visit twinsbaseball.com. Again, a tip of the cap to Twins fans. It's not a sellout crowd here today, but essentially 3 sellouts against Detroit. The Twins were swept by the Tigers and have not played well, particularly at home, yet the fans come out. And I think I can speak on behalf of the Twins organization. Thank you to Twins fans for continuing to support this team.
It can only get better. We hope.
Sadly, that's true. It can only get better. 1-1. Gomes with a bouncer to short his first time up. Diamond has been nicked for 3 hits, and he's given up 2 home runs on top of that. Total of 5 hits.
Well, one thing about Scott Diamond, he's done a good job of keeping the ball in the ballpark. Only 2 home runs allowed again in his first 4 starts, and even in AAA only allowed 1 home run in 6 minor league starts. So the 2 home runs allowed the first time to 2 lefties, either here or Rochester.
Now, you have always said that solo home runs won't beat you.
Yes.
Now, Matt Latos of the Cincinnati Reds did his best to prove that theory wrong. He gave up 5 solo home runs yesterday and won the ball game.
There you go.
There were 9 home runs hit in Cincinnati.
Well, we're going there. We'll see how that that ballpark creates. Fly balls. See ya.
2 gone here in the 4th inning.
And the second strikeout. Good pitch. Down. You see that a little bit better bite right there on that breaking ball where he hung a couple to the lefties. Good bite on that breaking ball for a second strikeout.
And Fox Tracks brought to you by Window Concepts of Minnesota. 2 gone in the 4th. Here's Brandon Inge. And a tapper foul. Inge, through spring training, was competing with primarily Ryan Rayburn for the starting second base position. With everything going on with the Tigers acquiring Prince Fielder, moving Miguel Cabrera over to third, Inge wasn't going to play there anymore. And Inge lost out in the spring training battle at second to Rayburn, who had a red hot spring training. The Tigers made their move, and then Rayburn stopped hitting once the season started. And Inge, as you said, was signed by Oakland, and in his first few ball games with the A's, he hits 2 grand slams.
Hey, he was with the Tigers from 2001 to earlier this year, so a lot of time spent in a Tiger uniform. Made the All-Star team back in 2009, representing the Detroit Tigers.
Always felt bad for Inge with that experience, going to the All-Star game, a great experience, but somehow he got roped into the home run hitting contest. Not really a home run hitter. You saw 144 in his career. Check swing, did he go? No. And so Inge gets roped into the home run hitting contest because a lot of the guys backed out at the last instant. He didn't hit 1 home run in the home run hitting contest.
Yeah, it looked like he kept the barrel of the bat back right there, and Diamond almost got his 3rd strikeout.
2-2 to Inge here in the 4th inning. Ooh, he gets hit by a pitch, and Diamond sends him to first with 2 gone. And that'll bring up Kurt Suzuki.
First hit batsman of the year for Scott Diamond. Hinge a lot like Willingham. You see him right in front of the box, and he's not going to give much either.
See, if he'd have done that, if he'd have just leaned into it just a little bit in game 163, the Tigers might have won that game. Remember, Hinge was the guy at the plate, and the pitch brushed his jersey but wasn't called by the home plate umpire. Here's Suzuki with 2 gone on a runner at first. One and 0.
Suzuki, 28 years old, in his 6th season with the Oakland A's. He has handled a lot of different pitchers over the last 6 years. Very good receiver. Offensively has struggled at times, and so far this year he has been.
Tap to third. Easy play for Plouffe. And that ends the top of the 4th inning. It's still 2-0 Oakland. Gorgeous view of this gorgeous ballpark, and it's brought to you from our GoPro shop. The A's with a 2-0 lead. We'll see if the Twins can get something going here the second time through the order against Travis Blackley. A couple of days ago, the A's were scheduled to start Graham Godfrey in this game, but they needed Godfrey out of the bullpen in the Yankee series, and then Godfrey's got kind of a curious finger injury too, so they went with Blackley instead, not expecting too much from him, but he's pitched 3 very solid innings so far.
He really has 3 shutout innings. He's used only 41 pitches. Does have a couple strikeouts, no walks, given up only 1 hit, and that was the first batter he faced in Denard Span.
Here's Mastroianni. Takes strike 1. Mastroianni hit a deep fly to the right field corner, hauled in by Reddick in the first inning. The average doesn't look too good, but he's only had 23 at bats, 3 singles, and now 2 strikes. Mastroianni's playing time impacted with yesterday's designation for assignment of Eric Komatsu, which, for all practical purposes, means Komatsu will go back to the Washington Nationals. Actually, I think the process involved Komatsu being put on waivers, and it's expected that the Nationals will reclaim him and get him for half the Rule 5 purchase price. 1-2.
A hard role for Mastroianni to be in as a utility player. You take a lot of extra batting practice, be ready to play. Has some power, not much, more of a line drive type hitter with some speed.
And a called third strike. And the fourth inning starts as the third bid.
And Blackley picking up his third strikeout. Up here, our Circle Me Burt guests. We have from the Air Force Reserve, Austin, who just got back from overseas on Friday. And your lovely wife here, I know she's happy to see you. Now, you brought this here, and you're trying to name this thing. And I'm going to ask you again. Gnomes, a gnome. So
garden gnomes. You put them in your garden, right?
A gnome. Yeah. Do you have any of these in your garden?
I think in the garden at home we got a couple of them.
Well, they're trying to make a name for it. They have just other than Nomi.
Richard is nice. Richard, you thought about that?
It'd be a Nomi Richard, a Nomi Mauer, a Nomi Morneau, Nomi Gardenhire.
One strike to Mauer.
I don't see Nomi Blyleven on here. You know, forget it. If you're not going to use my name on this Nomi, forget it. Let's let him watch the ball game anyway, right here. Maybe he'll fall over.
Mauer with a 1-1 count, bounced into a double play to wrap up the first inning. For Mauer, the 12th time that's happened this year, and that leads the major leagues. Two and one.
Well, all of this, Austin, thank you for your service. Thank you for your dedication to our country and everything that you stand for. And for Nomi. Nomi's watching the ball game. We have not had a ball hit up here yet. Let's see if Joe could try to knock Nomi over. We should put him out in right field.
There's a dribbler in front of the third baseman Inge. And Mauer gets an infield hit. Just the second Twins hit, hardly hit well, but it does get Willingham to the plate as the tying run.
And Nomi's clapping right here. Awesome. Right off the end of the bat, Inge playing off the line, and not much Inge could do, but what he tried to do right there, but Joe Mauer beat it out. Barehanding it. That's about all the play he had. So the Twins get their second hit of the ball game.
Willingham comes to the plate as the tying run. He bounced to short his first time up, had a long battle with Blackley, saw a lot of pitches. See if that helps him out in his second at bat. Pulled foul, one strike.
Let's take a look at this swing by Joe Mauer right off the end of the bat. Watch where the ball hits. I mean, the other batter's box had so much spin on it and came back into fair territory. And now you put Bly Nomi. That's what they said when I threw the ball out over the plate. Bly Nomi. Hit a homie.
One strike to the Twins left fielder. And he takes a low and away, 1-1. Morneau with the team lead in home runs with 9. Willingham now second with 8. If you're wondering for Willingham when was the last home run, it was in Milwaukee on May 8th.
That's what I was just going to look up. He had a stretch there, you know, in Milwaukee where he hit a couple, and then, you know, in April, I believe he hit 5 in April. Kind of streaky.
It was the 18th, not the 8th, when we were in Milwaukee. So about a week and a half ago. 2-1 to Willingham. 3-1. Morneau on deck. Blackley.
A pretty close pitch right here, down in the strike zone.
It's about where Diamond's pitch to K.I. Ahui was, and K.I. Ahui hit it out of the ballpark. 3-1 to Willingham. And they've got Mauer picked off. Saved. Mauer got his hand on the bag, and now here comes Bob Melvin. K.I. Ahui, at least in the mind of Brian Runge, missed the tag. Mauer was absolutely frozen in his tracks with Blackley's pickoff move.
Yeah, Brian Runge right there explaining what he saw to Bob Melvin. Watch Ke'Ahui right here.
Yeah, you can see Ke'Ahui wave the glove, missed him.
Yep.
And Maurer tagged on the shoulder about the time his hand reached the bag. I mean, that's how badly Maurer was fooled. The first baseman put the tag down, and Maurer hadn't even gotten to the bag yet. Well, the Twins having a tough time reading Blackley.
Yeah, watch Joe's lead this time.
Squirted to the right side. Weeks will flip to first. A low throw, and Ke'Ahui has to dig it out. Maurer advances to second base.
Well, let's take a look at Blackley's move. He must have a very good one if you're the base runner right there, picking that leg up, and there's that imaginary line. And then now this throw is toward home plate. A little quicker.
You could see
that knee didn't come up as high.
And you could see the spike marks on the mound where he landed on the throw to first. And in the umpire's mind, it has to be closer toward first base than a step toward home plate. And now
they say it's a 45-degree angle as you go from the rubber to where they land. Let's take another look at Blackley's delivery right here. We'll kind of split it apart. There's the move to first. As he steps toward first, that's a good move right there. And then going home, he doesn't go up as high, more of a slide step. But then we've also seen him go up like he did the first time and go home.
Maurer at second, 2 away. And a pitch up and in, ball 1. When we've talked about next year legislating these fake to third, step off, throw to first move, the justification is it was trying to deceive the runner. Well, that's what Blackley's trying to do. He's trying to deceive Maurer. So what's the distinction?
There isn't any. I think they should also eliminate any throws to first.
Swing and a miss, 1-1.
Right-handers and left-handers. You just can't throw to first. Runner gets on, he can go halfway. You just can't throw there.
You still allow stolen bases?
No, you eliminate them too. And only 2 strikes per batter.
Okay. These are all if you were commissioner.
Yeah, you want to speed up this game?
How about coach?
Well, make it a 6-inning game so more guys get complete games.
How about coach pitch? Should we do that?
They do that at 5 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
It's called BP, batting practice.
1-2 to Morneau. Twins need a 2-out hit here from Morneau. A high fly to right center field.
Just got underneath it.
Reddick ends the inning. Twins leave Maurer at second base, and the A's still lead 2-0.
We get caught up in playing this great game, for a living, and what really matters is those that's, fighting for our freedom, that provide the freedom for us to do what we do, and that's something really special that means a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to everybody in this locker room.
Brian Dozier back in the lineup on this Memorial Day, and we wish for you a reflective weekend and a safe weekend as we honor the men and women who served so valiantly for our country. And Scott Diamond gave up a couple of solo home runs early, and one of the guys who hit a home run, Kila Ke'aiahui, will lead off the 5th inning for Oakland. It'll be Ke'aiahui, Cowgill, and Rosales here in the Oakland 5th. One of the disappointments for the Twins this year, when they have faced some teams who have struggled to score runs, teams have gotten well against the Twins. The Boston Red Sox were really struggling to score runs till they came in here, and they scored enough runs to come out of here with a sweep. Same too for the Detroit Tigers at the start of this homestand. Now Oakland really struggling to score runs. They've got a couple of home runs up on the board. And a 1-1 count now to the A's first baseman. Ke'aiahui golfing one out of here.
Yeah, with 2 outs in the 2nd inning. His 3rd home run of the year. And the 42nd home run by the Oakland A's. Twins come into this ballgame with 33 home runs. Hit.
Sliced foul, 2-2. Tigers having a tough time scoring runs today at Fenway Park against Felix Dubron. Doug Fister's given up 6. The Tigers have scored only 2. 2-2. Busted bat and a roller to second.
Good fastball, middle in.
1 down. A holiday edition of AT&T Trivia. Which pitcher stopped the A's AL record 20-game winning streak in 2002? I was there, so I will withdraw from the competition. I remember the game well. You were there too.
Yeah, but I don't remember. I would think it would be Brad Radke.
Yeah. The year was 2002. Both the A's and the Twins made the playoffs that year. Twins beat the A's in the first playoff round. Ended up being eliminated by the Angels, who then went on to win the World Series. There, I've covered the trivia questions for tomorrow and Wednesday. So we have 3 correct answers.
That ground ball out that Diamond was able to get off the bat of Ke'aiahui, that's his 8th ground ball out. Only 2 fly ball outs to go with his 2 strikeouts. So getting some outs on the ground.
Cowgill singled, and then he was picked off first. And that will stay in the grass and be an infield hit. So similar to Mauer's hit. Just a little nubber up the line, and Plouffe had no play.
Kind of a swinging bunt with Plouffe playing back. No chance. And he did the right thing, just to get it and pick it up and give it back to the pitcher. Maybe there'll be a big scuff mark on that ball.
And if there is, and Scott Diamond finds it, he'll do the honorable thing
and he's got it
show
in his glove.
Show it to the umpire and say there's an imperfection in this ball, and it might cause it to dip and dart unexpectedly.
Yeah, might be able to get me a double play ball right here.
Rosales struck out his first time up. And a strike.
Good fastball there.
Hey, I remember, we've talked about this, I'm sure, in the past. I remember a Memorial Day watching you pitch at County Stadium when you were with the Cleveland Indians. It's about 43 degrees, and you, I think, pitched a shutout that day against Milwaukee. But when you pitched on a holiday, did you allow the significance of whatever holiday it was to enter your mind, or are you so focused on the game and the lineup you got to pitch against that it doesn't matter?
Well, you realize, that say on Memorial Day, you know what day it is. You know that there's going to be a big crowd. You want to go out and perform well. The only day I didn't like to pitch on was the 4th of July because I didn't want the fireworks to start with me on the mound.
It'd be terrible if they had the fireworks show and they shot them all off before the game ended.
Yeah, really.
Right?
It's the old saying that somebody gave up 2 or 3 home runs and the fireworks went off in Chicago, I believe, how that scoreboard used to go, and pitching coach came out and kind of took his time, and the pitcher said, well, what are you doing? What are you doing out here? I'm okay. He said, no, I'm just out here so they can reload that machine out there.
1-2 to the number 9 batter. Holiday baseball used to mean, at least when I was growing up and into my adolescence, double headers. There were a lot of double headers on Memorial Day, the 4th of July.
There, turn it.
Bluth bobbles it, recovers, fires to second, safe, not in time. It'll be an error on Bluth.
Yeah, nasty little hop right there. You'd like for it to come up. It kind of came up on a little bit and hit off his chest. Well, you either play back or you try to charge this ball, and Bluth went back on this, and watch that little hop that came up. And by the time he could react, ball came up a little bit higher than he had anticipated and got away from him. And the Twins charged with an error for Bluth. That's his 4th error of the year.
So now you're picked for me and pick stick, and I've got a -2, right?
Yeah, but he's coming up next inning, so he's going to take care of that.
First time either team has had more than one runner on base. And with 1 out, Jemile Weeks will hit. He's got a pair of singles. Hasn't been on base very long, though, because the next man up, Coco Crisp, twice has bounced into a double play. One strike to Weeks. That's through Mauer. And then the carom came right back to him. And it'll be, well, I don't know. From where we stood, we couldn't tell whether it landed significantly in front of the plate. In any case,
yeah,
it's probably
a wild pitch. Yep.
Probably a ball that Joe.
That ball skipped right in front of the plate,
yep.
And then underneath the glove of Joe. And that carom here with that limestone, you don't know what might happen.
So the Twins bring the infield in now with second and third, 1 out, and a 1-1 count to Jemile Weeks. You say, well, that's a ball the catcher should block, and you might be right, but it looked like that ball hit maybe even the front edge of the plate.
They expect sometimes those balls to come up, and that ball stayed down.
Push to the right side. The play is at the plate. And now Cowgill's in a rundown. He's tagged out. Casilla going to his left, fielding the ball, and then making a good throw.
Yeah, the contact play was on for the Oakland A's, even though the infield was playing in. Now Weeks hits this ball sharply to Casilla. He throws a strike to Joe, and then Joe running him back as the runner at second was heading back to second. And Joe, good. That's what you'd like out of a play like this, is not make any throws. And Joe ends up tagging out the runner for the second out. Cowgill.
Well, within that, didn't Rosales make a bad base running play there? I mean, if he just runs to third and stands there, he's at third instead of second. Mm-hmm. Here's Crisp, and a pitch up, ball 1. I mean, the only reason, if you're the base runner at second, the only reason to retreat is if you think there's a chance Cowgill's going to get himself out of that. And that should never happen in the big leagues. So first and second instead of first and third. And a strike, 1-1.
Well, Rosales right here, right there, he decides to go back to second. And now, Cowgill wants to get into a rundown, but Joe just attacked him and tagged him for the second out. So good play by Joe Mauer.
1-1 to Crisp. Diamond trying to pitch out of a little bit of a jam here in the fifth. Already trailing 2-0. Two and one.
Coco Crisp, a player that the A's invested some money in, re-signing as a free agent over the winter. Gave him a 3-year contract, 2 years plus a club option for 2014.
Sharply hit. Casilla. Over to Morneau. The inning ends. A threat. No damage done. It's 2-0. And Burt's picked the stick. Ryan Doman.
Come on, Ryan.
He's going to lead off the fifth. My guy's going to hit third.
Memorial Day at the ballpark, and I'm in a good place now. I'm in the Minnesota State Lottery winner's circle, and I'm with Angie, who had me a bit concerned because her sign said it was her last Twins game, but then she clarified it's her last Twins game single.
Yep, I'm getting married next weekend.
And this is Scott, her fiance, behind her. So you're celebrating your last Twins game single, but you bring your fiance.
Yep, exactly.
Well, congratulations. You get $100 in scratch-off tickets from the Minnesota State Lottery.
Woohoo!
Angie
nice.
and Scott from Hastings. Dick and Bert.
Congratulations to that future couple. Anthony, great job.
Ryan Doman leads off the Twins' fifth. They still have not scored against Travis Blackley. 1-0 to Doman. And now 2-0. It'll be Doman, Dozier, and Plouffe. Doman reached on an air. He had a little squibber up the line, and Blackley tried to backhand a flip to first base.
I thought that was a base hit. You know, the best athlete in the world went over there and tried to backhand it over to first base and unable to do it. That should be a base hit.
A changeup over for a strike on the 2-0 count. It's now 2-1.
Blackley at 61 pitches, 37 strikes, no walks, 3 strikeouts so far. He's given up only 2 hits.
Rounded foul, wide of first, 2-2.
A's put a little bit of a shift on for Doman as Weeks, the second baseman, playing up the middle. Hui, the first baseman, playing between first and second.
And inside to fill the count. Had a number of 3-ball counts, but no walks yet.
You see Suzuki sitting inside and a bit inside. Five 3-ball, 3-2 counts for Blackley.
And he misses badly with an off-speed pitch.
And the first walk.
Leadoff man's on. Dozier to the plate. You can enjoy the best that Target Field has to offer with your group of 25 or more. No deposits required for a 2012 group outing. Just reserve your best guess number of seats today. Pay only for the number of tickets you actually need. You'll be seated together. Your group's name will appear on the Target Field scoreboard. So whether it's a church group, business group, school, or sports team, call 833-TWINS and ask about a Twins group outing. Here's Dozier, sent a fly ball to the warning track for the final out of the second inning. And he takes strike one. Well, the Twins getting their leadoff man on for just the second time. They've had one runner to second base. That was Mauer last inning. They haven't hit much of anything hard against Blackley at all. Now inside, and Suzuki digs it out.
Yeah, nice play right there by the catcher, Suzuki. Well, you know breaking's ball coming, and then you turn and spin and able to get that ball in the glove.
One and one. Another double play ball. 6-4. 3. And Dozier bounces into a double play. 2 down.
Well, second double play the Twins have hit into so far this afternoon. Mauer hitting into a double play to end the first. Take a look at the pitch. All right there, but Dozier, that's where, you know, good hitters, major league hitters, get themselves out.
So 2 down, bases empty. Here's Plouffe called out on strikes in the third inning. Committed an error in the top of this inning. My partner picked him for me. He picked the stick. And
patience. Patience, partner. Patience.
We're -2.
That's okay. Throw him a cookie right here. Plouffe with 4 home runs on the year. There you go.
Fly left center field.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Cowgill to the wall, and it's gone.
High fives all around.
Trevor.
Patience. I said patience. Now you're plus. Are you happy?
Plouffe with a home run, his 5th of the year, and it's 2-1.
Well, he got that cookie and he didn't miss it. Take a look at the cookie. Oh, that's a nice cookie. And Trevor Plouffe makes it a 2-1 ball game with this 5th home run.
Now I know why you're leading the competition. That'll bring up Casilla. So 3 solo home runs in the ball game, 2 for Oakland, 1 for the Twins. Casilla swings and misses.
Now, we just saw Dozier almost get the same pitch and hit into the double play, but here Trevor Plouffe, good extension. And it's a 2-1, still Oakland lead.
Inside, 1-1.
And on that, the guy I picked, that
for
walked,
me.
Yes.
Oh, the guy you picked.
I picked.
Right.
Scored.
He would have if not for the.
Oh no, he did not.
No, he did not.
A double play. Oh no.
Busted bat and a roller to short.
I had a 2-2 game. Darn it.
All right, you're good at pick the stick, not so good at math. It's a 2-1 ball game.
Memorial Day edition of Twins Baseball on Fox Sports North. We're joined by a very special guest, Ed Zins, retired member of the U.S. military, retired as a lieutenant colonel in 1972. After 30 years, what does a day like this mean to you?
Well, I knew it would be great, but I had no idea. I'm absolutely overwhelmed with just everything, the festivities, the flag, the flyover, the people. It's going to take me a week to come down, I think, from this.
You've got a number of family and friends here. Ed was our flag raiser here at Target Field today. For you, it's not just been you, it's your family that's been a part of the military. Your father was in World War I before you were in World War II. Days like this, can people do enough to thank your family?
Well, I hate to say no or yes to that, but I want to mention a couple of other people. My son served with the Navy in Vietnam, and my son-in-law was in the Army over in Vietnam. So our family has more than just me with military backgrounds.
Ed's been a part of life in Minnesota, a graduate of St. Cloud Tech High School, a longtime assistant hockey coach at Edina. He's done an awful lot to help our community. Thank you very much.
You're more than welcome.
Ed Zins. Dick and Bert.
Thank you, Anthony, and special thanks to Ed for his service.
And his family service, and God bless you all.
2-1. The leadoff man here in the sixth, Josh Reddick. He hit a home run against Diamond in the first inning. There goes a high drive to deep right center field. Span to the wall, and now the carom comes back to Stan. And Reddick to third base, and he's in with a leadoff triple. So a high fly ball to one of the deepest parts of the park, and it looked like it bounced about halfway up the scoreboard.
Well, Reddick showing off some power here this afternoon. A home run in his first at bat. Here got a high fastball. You can see again he's not that big, 6'2", 180, but boy, he can generate some bat speed, and he's showing off some speed right there as he slides into third with his second triple of the year.
Seventh hit for the A's. Infield in now for Johnny Gomes, who's bounced to short and struck out. 81 pitches for Diamond, 50 strikes. Wriggled out of a jam in the fifth, and now he's got a jam right away in the sixth. Missing the inside corner, ball one.
We saw that in yesterday's ball game. P.J. Walters working out of a couple jams right around the fourth or fifth inning and kept the club in the game, even though the Twins lost 4-3.
And inside 2-0. So the Twins trying to work over Gomes. Inside, he's taken 2 balls.
Gomes last year started with the Cincinnati Reds, ended up with the Nationals. Combined played in 120 ball games, hit 14 home runs.
And missing again, 3-0 with Brandon Inge on deck.
A little bit low, says Tim McClellan.
We'll see if Gomes, the cleanup hitter, is green lighted here. And he takes off the plate. A 4-pitch walk sends him to first.
He's already telling his defense where to play. Pretty good pitch right there, but called a ball. So first walk of the ball game for Diamond.
Middle infielders move back into double play position. They'll concede a run here if Inge hits it at them. Bluth might have other guys' ideas at third, and similarly Morneau might have a thought to go home if the ball's hit to him at first. And it's rolled to second base. 1 and 2, and the run scores. It's a 3-1 ball game.
Yeah, no RBI for Brandon Inge, but the A's with Reddick scoring do take a 3-1 lead. Twins turned their third double play of the ball game behind Scott Diamond.
And Suzuki 0 for 2 in the ball game. Fly ball to left and a grounder to third. Jordan Norberto warming up in the Oakland bullpen, not because Blackley's been ineffective or the Twins are catching up to him, just he's given him 5 innings, which is all they could have hoped for, making his first start of the year.
Yeah, 72 pitches for Blackley in the 5 innings.
We've seen Diamond sharper, but he's 1 out away from giving the Twins another quality start. Walters did that yesterday. Looked like he was going to be in position to pick up the win yesterday until the 9th inning. Jeff Manship warming up in the Twins pen. The 89th pitch for Diamond. And it's outside 1-2.
Yeah, I mentioned at the top of the show, Scott Diamond, 3 of his 4 starts so far have been quality starts. Now, his last start in Chicago, he got his first loss of the year, but he gave up 5 runs, only 2 earned runs, as the Twins made 3 errors behind him.
Swing and a miss, and Diamond completes 6. Has a quality start to this point. And the Twins trail 3-1.
Fight for his country, you know, I'm free, and you're the true heroes, and I respect you so much, you know, being away from your family for a long period of time, you know, and it's just being just a different place that you never thought you would be, but, you know, you're doing it for your country, and you do it for your freedom, and you do it for the glory of God, and I respect that so much for you, and I just want to salute to you, because you're the true heroes. We're not, you are. Thank you every day. God bless.
Well, very well put by Ben Revere, honoring our troops, men and women.
It's 3-1. Oakland in front now, and they go into their bullpen. And the Oakland A's have a very good bullpen. As you said, Norberto will come out of the Oakland pen, and he's done very well. Look at that opponent batting average.
Yeah, only a 183. Norberto came over from the Arizona Diamondbacks last July, when the A's traded Brad Ziegler to the Arizona Diamondbacks. A left-handed pitcher. Excuse me. It goes a good fastball, curveball, and a changeup.
One of 3 left-handed relievers that the A's have. Span, Mastroianni, and Mauer face him here in the 6th.
Norberto, just 25 years old, from the Dominican Republic.
Span singled to left in the first, bounced to second in the third. Strike one. The A's have to be thrilled with what they got from Travis Blackley, taken out of the pen, given a start today, almost on an emergency basis. Off the mound, and it kicks toward the shortstop Rosales. Span retired, one away. AT&T trivia question involved the Oakland A's Moneyball year of 2002 and their 20-game winning streak, and who ended it? It ended across town here at the Metrodome. Brad Radke beat them 6-0.
They shut him down.
And then Radke ended up starting game one of the playoffs. The Twins kicked the ball around for the first 5 innings, came back and won game one. Won game 4 of that series at the Dome. The series went back to Oakland and the Twins won it. It's the only playoff series the Twins have won since 1991. Gotten to the playoffs 5 other times, but have always been eliminated.
Normally playing those Yankees.
Playing the Yankees. The other time they lost was the Oakland A's, and that was the year in 2006 that, boy, for a while the Twins had the best setup for the postseason you could imagine. They had not one, but 2 dominant power left-handed starting pitchers. Johan Santana was the second best starting left-handed starter on his team, only because Francisco Liriano was blowing people away. And then Liriano blew out his elbow, and the Twins were never the same team after that. This one lifted foul and out of play, 3-2. Now they got to the playoffs, and that was the year that we all watched on TV as the Tigers faded down the stretch. The Twins were in the playoffs. They were going to New York to face the Yankees again in the playoffs. 3-2 to Mastroianni, and he checks his swing foul. But the Tigers faded away, and on the big screen TV at the Metrodome, they lost their game to Kansas City in extra innings. That